But I am honored and excited to introduce Jami Hearn today. She's been in rental property for how long has it been, Jamie? Like 6 months, 8 months? How long have you been in?
It'll be a year
Oh,
at the end of
wow.
this month.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Totally.
Well, good. Well, I don't want to take away all your thunder, but just as an introduction, Jamie has been lighting the world on fire between buying multi-units, analyzing all kinds of different properties in different cities and states around the country. You've been a model student. We couldn't ask for someone better to educate just because you're easily coachable, right? You ask a question, we give the answer, you go do it, and you figure it out along the way, which is amazing. But without further ado, Jamie, fill us in. Give us some a little idea of your background and kind of how you wound up here.
Well, Tim may disagree with the easily coachable
Yeah,
part because
okay, all right. Tim's not on the call, so you're fine. You're fine.
but he's been amazing. So
Yeah.
give him all the credit he's due. So my background is that I've been a real estate attorney for 25 years.
Okay.
And I have a really good base of knowledge because of that. But the honest truth is that I was really tired of sitting at closing tables and handing out 5 and 6 figure checks to everyone
Right.
else and leaving with 500 bucks.
Yeah.
So I decided that I wanted to start investing, and I have structured my investing business such that I'm retiring from law at the end of this year.
Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's huge.
Thanks. I'm super excited.
I'm sure. Yeah, you're collecting the checks now. You're not handing them out anymore.
Right.
That's great. And what was like, so you said you structured your investing. Tell us more about that. Like, you went through this plan building stage to make sure obviously you're creating more income for yourself as you step away from law. Like, take us through that process and what you came up with.
I started out pretty slow in investing, acquiring single families and small duplexes, and there was cash flow, but it wasn't cash flow that was going to enable me to step away from my 9 to 5.
Yep.
So I started looking at larger assets, buying
Nice.
larger multifamilies, and this week I have closed on 2 RV parks.
Hey,
Wow.
congratulations. That's awesome. Tell us about so you went to multi-units, right? Tell us about like those deals, and then I really want to hear about the RV parks too.
So I just started looking for some larger multifamilies instead of duplexes or triplexes. My first
Hmm.
one was a 9 unit.
Nice.
And after the closing, the guy that helped me get the financing in order said, it's as much work to do a 50 unit as it was to do this 9 unit. So
Yeah.
why don't you start looking at that
Look for
asset
something
class?
bigger.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
Wow. And then how did you find the 9 unit? And then did you find a bigger like 50 unit as well too? Like how did you find those?
So I didn't end up closing on the larger multi. I closed the 9 unit. That was
Hmm.
through a wholesaler. It was an
Well,
off-market listing.
I love
And
that.
so then I started looking at some of the larger multifamily apartment style assets. And
Hmm.
I got through underwriting on a bunch of them and they just didn't cash flow adequately. So I didn't close any of those, although I
Okay.
probably looked at 100 of them.
Oh wow. So you did a lot.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking, and most of those leads came from some t expired listings, some other lists from
Yep.
from list generating services like Deal Sauce and PropStream and those types of services.
Yeah.
Um, and then I started networking with people who were buying larger assets.
Okay.
And that's how I got involved in RV parks. So we've been looking at workforce housing style RV parks because they don't have
Yeah.
all of the moving parts of resort style RV parks.
Yep.
It's very similar to a mobile home park, but all you own is dirt, and that's all you're renting out to the
Yep.
tenants. So
And
that really fit my buy box really well because I didn't want to have to go to wherever the property was to make sure that the pool water got tested.
yeah,
So these are also serving an affordable housing need. So
yeah.
it was really a good fit for the trajectory of the impact I want to make in real estate.
That's awesome. And talk to us about where did you find these properties? Are they how far away are they from you, like the RV parks? And what's the play? You said they're workforce based. Are you renting the land to a company that's putting workforce there? Are you just renting to the individual? How did you lay that out?
So the first one I found is in Missouri.
Nice. Okay.
And I found that through a Facebook group that I'm a part of.
Love
Someone
it.
someone was looking to sell their property. And that is it leased to individual workers.
Okay.
And so I went and looked at it because I feel like if you're spending that much money on an asset, you should probably know that it's
Probably.
actually there. But I have no need to go there very
Yeah.
often. It literally the only thing on the property is a laundry facility. And
Wow.
swipe your card on the laundry machine and it goes into my bank account. It's a great setup.
That's amazing. And I would assume there's like hookups and everything, like for the
Yep.
RVs or the trailers that are there. Yeah.
Yep. Every site has water, septic, and electricity. It's on public water and sewer.
Right.
So it's a like kind of the gold standard. A lot of
Yeah.
parks like that don't have public utilities
Yeah.
available. So I was really fortunate to find one that did.
That's amazing. And so basically, you own the land, you manage all the utilities, and then someone brings their camper or RV or mobile home, parks it there, and then you charge them lot rent, I would assume, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. Very cool. Do you charge utilities or anything like that, or is that just all included in your lot rent?
We do charge utilities based on usage because we want to be fair to like a lot of these people aren't even around for 12 to 15 hours a day. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that it's fair to those who are there only a few hours a day.
That's very cool. Very cool. So a lot of workforce housing there. And tell us about the numbers on the deal. We'd love to hear what'd you pay for it? How did you finance it? What kind of cash flow you getting out of it?
So we paid 750 for it
Okay.
and we did seller finance. So
Oh, yes.
it was no money out of pocket.
You
Um,
100% seller finance the whole thing? Great work.
And I mean, those deals are rare, but
Yep.
this one worked out really well for us. It cash flows on day one. It cash flows about $4,000
Beautiful.
immediately. And there's a lot of value add because the last few months, the seller hadn't been filling vacancies in the park. So
Mm.
as soon as we start adding people to the vacant lots, there's just going to be even more cash flow.
That's just more money. That's great. And it's easier for because I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but the person selling the lot or the property, right? They're a tired landlord. They didn't want to deal with it anymore. They love the cash flow, but they didn't want to deal with the property. So you just said, hey, you can still get the cash flow, but you just don't have to deal with the property anymore. And that's probably what sold them on seller financing, right?
Exactly. And then they don't have to worry about the huge capital gains hit in
Yep.
the first year. So it was really a win-win for both of us.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's an amazing win. And tell us about the other one. What's going on with the other property?
So the other one is in Utah, and that's a
Okay.
tiny house community.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
The majority of those are also lot leases, but there
Okay.
are a few that are owned by us, by the company.
Okay.
Um, so it's outside of one of the national parks out there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little
Cool.
touristy. So some of the people who have tiny houses there rent them as Airbnbs.
Yep.
But I don't have to. That's what they're doing. So it
Yeah, you
works
just
out
deal with a
really
lot.
well.
Yeah, you make sure the grass is cut and that's it.
Yeah, and it's the desert, so grass doesn't even really grow
Oh,
there.
even better. That's great. That's so cool. So same situation there. You're renting out the lots. There's utilities that you're charging whoever's
Yes.
renting. And then how is this deal structured? Did you get another seller financing or did you have to buy this one?
There is some seller financing. This is a
Nice.
hybrid, and
Okay.
I have a couple of partners on this one. So the seller financed, I don't even honestly remember what we landed at, but we took it subject to an existing loan. The seller
Okay, great.
financed a piece, and then there is some private money to subsidize the closing costs and
Great.
a little bit of CapEx that needed to be done on the property.
Cool. So $0 out of your pocket on that one too?
Yep.
Woo! You just knocked it out of the park on these deals.
I mean, it was my week.
It was your week. Sounds like it was your month, is what it sounds like. That's amazing. So we got two big deals. And what's the cash flow on this for this property?
That one cash flows about 6,000 a month immediately.
All right. So it sounds like between these two larger deals, right, we've um, covered somewhat, if not the majority of your income. Was that the goal? Like, is
Yeah, a
that was
big
the
part
plan,
of
right?
it.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Golf clap for
Yes.
Jamie putting those
Thanks.
deals together. So, these two deals are underneath your belt. I would assume you're focused on stabilizing both of those, completing the capex, filling the lots, and all of that. Are you still looking for properties? Like, what's next? What's in the game for you next?
I'm always
Yeah,
looking. I
I
mean,
love
I
it.
don't want to turn the spigot off. I
I
want deals
know.
to continue coming through. And if they don't work for me, they might work for somebody else in the community that I'm part of.
Yeah.
But we do have another one under contract to close December 1st.
Oh, wow. You got a third deal going. Is this same like just you're buying a lot with renters on it? Is that what's how this is set up?
So this one actually has way more moving parts. It
Okay.
is also an RV park with lots, but it has a 17-unit motel, a
Oh, wow.
restaurant, five single families, and an event facility.
Wow. So it is a lot more. And are you taking ownership of all of that, I would assume?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. And what's the game plan there? Fill us in. What are you going to wind up doing with that?
That one has a lot of value add.
Okay.
So we're going to take it piece by piece, but our first project is renovating the motel because it's admittedly heart-shaped tubs,
Yeah. Yep.
70s kind of.
Yep. Shag carpet, the whole nine yards.
Yes. So it needs a little lipstick
Okay.
as far as getting that rentable. I mean, the sellers have been renting it, but we want to create a little bit more sophisticated of an atmosphere there.
That's fair. A little
Um,
higher class, if you will,
yeah,
sounds
I
like.
mean, so
That's
there's
fair.
gonna there's gonna be a lot of renovation required. But stabilizing the asset is our first mission with that one. And we'll probably end up renting the restaurant out. I'd love to get someone in who is hungry to create a
Yeah.
business and serve the people right there in that community because there are enough people on site to keep a restaurant busy.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like bringing an operator to manage that business. So it's just you're just renting the space to an operator essentially is the goal.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. And give us the deal details on this one as well too.
So that one we have under contract for 900,000 and the
Okay.
seller is holding some paper on that one, but
Great.
I'm probably going to have to get agency financing on this one. I mean,
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to go to a bank, get a little money, it sounds like.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But all in all, I mean, three amazing deals. Now, you know, it's kind of crazy to think about. Obviously, your years of experience as a real estate attorney set you up really well to do these, unique properties and whatnot, right? But, you know, I remember when I helped my father-in-law retire, he did it in about like 4 or 5 years. You did it in 12 months, essentially, or so. And he was angry. He's like, I could have not worked for 30 years and done this a long time ago, right? Like, were you surprised at how quickly you could scale this?
Um, I was not necessarily because I didn't know that I could do it that quickly, but like all the other stuff in life
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
I had to be really disciplined about not being distracted by all of the
Yeah.
things going on. And sometimes that meant making a really hard choice. So I was committed to building a future for myself and my family, and ultimately what I want to give back to the world. And that came at the cost of other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And I would assume, you mean like devoting time to that on a weekly basis versus other things. How did you stay committed? Like, what was the biggest thing that said, hey, no matter what, I'm doing X every single week? Like, what helps you stay committed?
Really, my mother dying. I
Oh,
mean, I
wow.
know
I'm sorry to hear that.
that's super morbid, but like she set the expectation that when I commit to something, I
Hmm.
do it and don't allow excuses to derail me or get me going in a direction that doesn't serve my objective.
Yeah,
So I felt as though I had an obligation to fulfill what she taught me to practice.
that's fair. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, it's unfortunate it takes a life event to kind of get you in that mindset, right? But it's
Yeah.
better that, it provides you a learning experience and, you're honoring your mother in that way, which is amazing. And because you were so, as you said earlier on the call, right? You went years watching everyone collect these big checks at closing while you were getting $500, right?
Right.
What got you over the hump? What was like, that day where you're like, you know what, screw this. I'm doing this. I'm not going to help other people do this, right? What was that?
So, as an attorney, I spent a lot of time working. So,
Yeah.
I missed a lot with my kids when they were little.
Yeah.
And I have a grandson now. So, I
Okay.
don't want to miss that time with him. So, he was really the catalyst that caused me to make the decision, now's the time.
Yeah, I love that. So these big like family moments, it seems like was always like your why. And that is for most everyone who gets into real estate, right? And we can get sidetracked. I used to, because when I started real estate investing, my goal was to become financially free. And, I'm sure you became an attorney because you wanted to make good money and be able to provide and spend time with your family, right? And, 5, 10 years down the road, you pull your head up and you're like, I just grew a business. I didn't actually create financial freedom for myself, right?
Exactly. I made myself an adequate paying job.
Yep, exactly. So that's crazy how you think about that. Well, it's good that you realized it at some points that we needed to jump in. What's next for you? Are you just is the goal? Do you have like a stopping point, do you think? Or are you just going to continue to grow as long as time permits based on what you want to do? What's the long-term plan?
I'm going to continue growing. My
Okay.
big picture goal is to create a foundation that provides holistic mental health support to
Oh,
rural communities that are underserved.
okay.
So that mission is way bigger than me or making sure that,
I love that.
we have enough money in our bank account. So my goal is to just keep growing and fund that.
That's
Oh.
amazing. And let me like share with us a little bit on like what that looks like for you. Are you going to be like setting up facilities in specific communities? Like paint a picture of what that looks like.
So I'll start local because I'm in one of those rural, underserved communities.
Okay.
But I would love to see a facility that offers access to things like equine EMDR, which is a specific
Hmm.
modality of therapy that works with things like PTSD and veterans and other people who are dealing with traumas. And they're not readily available in a lot of places. So
Yeah.
I want to see people have greater access to things like that and other modalities that might not be as accessible in rural communities because we don't have the depth of practitioners that there are in more urban areas.
Yeah.
So it'll be a ground up construction that
Yeah.
brings together various pieces of mental health support.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's amazing. And like through what the cool thing is, and I always think about this from we think about creating family legacy with real estate, right? Because there's these properties that will continue to provide cash flow for generations. But the same thing for a business like that, right? You're creating a funding source that, could be potentially, endless, right? Long
Right.
term. So long after you're here, right? Those facilities are still operating and funding themselves and providing value to the community, which is amazing. I love that. So advice, right? You've gone from 0 to 100 so quickly, right? And what advice would you give someone who is, maybe 12 months back in your path, right? It's like, what would you give to that person that's just trying to get the gumption to make an offer or get started or take that first leap into real estate?
It's scary and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And don't allow your own programming to get in the way. Mindset
Yep.
is critical. And we've been so ingrained to say, oh, how am I going to do that? Oh, I don't know if that seems like a pretty big
Yeah.
goal. Push that to the side and just take action anyway. All of the
Yep.
other pieces will fall into place. And once you get to the spot where you need to figure out how, that's what you guys are for. You bring so
Yeah.
many skills and pieces of knowledge to the table, but you can't take the action for us. So
Yep.
just keep moving.
Yep, absolutely. And it's so funny you say that. I always say like our job as coaches or as mentors or whatever you want to call us is you go out and take action. And when you run into a problem, then call us. We'll fix the problem. You just need to keep running, right? And
Yeah.
let us know when those problems come up. That's awesome. Speaking of that, like what was for you, obviously you talked about Tim earlier on in the call. Like, what was one of the biggest takeaways and like, points for you inside of the rental property program that, you liked the best or you felt gave you the most support? What was it?
For me, it was relationship building.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I've met a couple really amazing people, other students in this
Yeah.
space. I've done some deals with a couple of them.
Nice.
One other student called me and said, hey, I just wanted to bounce a couple ideas off you. I don't know what direction to go in from here. So I connected him with a lender, and then I ended up lending a supplement so he could get the
Nice.
property finished. And Tim and Jen, they're the two coaches
Yeah.
that I've worked with. They're amazing. And even if they didn't have a lot of insight in the particular asset class I was looking at, they asked me compelling questions and caused me to think about things differently. So that was
Yeah.
crucial.
I love that. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need the answer. You just need to think about it differently. That'll spark the thing you need to move forward or decide not to, right? So
Yeah,
I love that. Um, guys, I know this interview has been epic, and I'm sure you guys have some questions. Jamie, would you be okay answering a few questions from students?
absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. Clementine, I already saw you shaking your heads. What do you got? What
oh,
questions you have?
no, I'm just thinking what a way to start my day. That is so, I feel the same way, Coach. And you know that I feel the same way. So, what a way to start my day. Thank you so
I
much.
know. Quite the inspiration, right? It's
Oh,
amazing to see it
perfect.
happen. Awesome. Let's see, what do we got? Mark, yes, she did one of the facilities she bought does have tiny homes on it. So yeah, you were correct. You heard right there.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions for Jamie about kind of her process, how she got the deals that she did? She'd be more than happy to help. Everybody's being quiet. They're being
No,
bashful this morning.
no, no. I
Oh,
just got to
Mark's
get to
not
that
bashful. I
button.
was gonna say, there
I
you go.
know, not getting it. So where you were, were you looking specifically for land deals like this on Facebook groups, or is there a sector like that we can look at?
There is a sector that you can focus on like that. There are tons of groups that
Mhm.
have sellers looking to sell property. I was looking specifically for workforce housing. So that's how
Oh.
I ended up landing on this asset.
Hmm.
I want to contribute to the affordable housing crisis in America. And this was a way that I could do it on a larger scale
Yeah.
without having to invest in the infrastructure of putting in an apartment building or something
Yeah.
like that.
No,
And
I
then
love that.
on the more practical side, so you said you got lucky. Most of them had like utilities run to it. So does each slot end up with its own box? I've never stayed in an RV park or anything.
Yeah, there, each spot has its own meter. So you can have the electric billed directly to the tenant, or you can collect the electric bill from a master meter and then charge it through. We literally just closed today, so we haven't
Mhm.
decided exactly how we're going to approach that, but we probably will end up charging it through on a master uh, from a master meter because not everybody stays for exactly a month. Someone
Yeah.
might stay for 6 weeks, someone might stay for 3 weeks. So I think that will probably be how we approach that.
Yeah. And you have to prorate all that.
Yes.
That makes sense. Very cool.
Yeah, and I'd like to say congratulations too. That is totally inspiring, by the way. And
Thank
it's also
you.
really it's
Yeah.
really it's inspiring also to hear that you started from such a principle-centered core and then made the practical reality around that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good food.
That is good food for this Friday morning.
Mhm.
And Roberts, I see you got your hand up, man. What do you got
Yeah.
for us?
Hi. Hi, Jamie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to meet the rest
you.
of the group. Thank you. Thank you. So I kind of came in a little bit late on this, but I have recently been approached by some of my friends because I just got involved with you guys recently, and they have
Hmm.
land. In fact, one up in Georgia, and they have land that they're selling. So I'm a rookie, just got in. So that what you have just done. Would you recommend that someone as new as me gets involved in something like that? Because the RV parks thing seem to be blossoming nicely, but it seems like it's you got to have your head screwed on pretty well.
You do. There are a lot of moving parts. So the best thing you can do is educate yourself.
Mm.
I believe that the RV parks are on a bubble and owners
Hmm.
are, for the most part, asking for top dollar. And as soon as that bubble starts to diminish, that's going to leave some new buyers in a more difficult situation because they're going to be over leveraged.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't adequate cash flow to begin with, they may find themselves in negative cash flow.
Mhm.
So I caution anyone who's looking at that particular asset class, especially as a new investor, but that doesn't mean don't do it.
Mhm.
Just make sure that you are thorough in your review. And the underwriting of an RV park is definitely different than the underwriting of a single family or even a duplex or a small multi.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jamie. Also, from your perspective, I do have some of those same friends who look for RV parks. So maybe I can contact you. Maybe you have access to a community, you're so involved in it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to chat with you.
All right, cool. Thank you, Jamie.
You're
Perfect.
welcome.
And Clementina, I saw you had your hand up again. What do you got?
Yeah, no, you mentioned that, Jimmy, you mentioned that you got lucky. I just want to point that you got lucky, but you put the work. you put the time, and so that's that's what pushed it, and that's how you find all this. So we got to put the work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank
Luck
you.
usually happens after years of work, is
Sure.
that's usually how we wind up getting lucky, That's where that falls into play. Well, I think, did we get all our questions answered? I think we did. Awesome stuff. Well, Jane, before we go, any final words of wisdom or inspiration that you'd love to share with the community or the rental property pro family before we say our goodbyes?
My biggest words of wisdom would have to be if you are interested in something, don't let any naysayers derail you because it's way easier to sit in your comfortable bubble and not take action and then complain that you didn't get the benefit of that action
Yep.
than it is to actually take a risk and be uncomfortable.
Yep.
So if you're drawn to something and you want to pursue it, do it without anybody else's input.
Yeah, I freaking love that. Absolutely. And most naysayers, the reason why they're naysayers is because they're angry and upset that they didn't follow what they wanted,
Good.
right?
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but there are a lot of people out there that just don't want to see people close to them succeed because it holds up a mirror to themselves. So if you're passionate about something and you want to go after it, just as Jamie said, just run with it. I love it. Well, thank you, Jamie. This has been an amazing
Excellent.
inspiration. I'm going to be sharing this with all my students so that they can get as inspired as everyone on this call has been. So thank you very much for taking your time today. Congratulations on the closing. Congratulations on all this success. Please share in the Facebook group the projects and the closings. We would love to see them. We would love to celebrate those wins with you. And thank you guys all for jumping on. I know we've all been inspired. Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
See,
Thank
see
you.
you guys. Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Happy Friday, everyone.